Mm-hmm. I bet. Just a minute. It lives, I see. Do you want to speak with Lolita? I'm sorry, but Gabriel is allowed. Oh, I mean, he's out. Yeah, if he ever comes back, I'll tell him. You know, you could do better. I know I don't know you, but you could do better. Good morning. The phone's been ringing off the hook all morning. Let me know when you want your messages.
Ugh.
Gee, you're lively. Did you have another nightmare last night?
Sort of.
Mm-hmm. I told you it's that voodoo book you're researching. That stuff can seriously screw up your karma.
I'm sure that's it. Maybe I should write a horror novel on passive resistance instead.
So don't sleep. It's your body. Anyway, your handheld tape recorder came today.
Really? Great.
I can't wait to see what human rights you violate with this one.
I can't wait to violate them. For example, if you would just let me...
And I located some local voodoo references for you. Dixieland Drugstore and the Historical Museum of Voodoo. Both are right here in French Quarter.
How would I ever manage without you?
You? Give me a break. The devil himself couldn't change you.
Well, if the devil had great legs, perhaps, like yours.
And a riveting personality, I'm sure. Well, if you need any more research done, just ask. It's not as though we're swamped with customers.
Handsome, isn't he? The old desk is one Gabriel's picked up near a dumpster. Not too shabby, eh? Well, okay, maybe it is. 3 snakes in a skull. Gabriel's father painted it.
What a wacky, offbeat kind of guy Daddy was.
The chandelier is original. Gabriel finds it charming. All right. He can't afford to replace it. Blessed caffeine. The coffee has already been made. The coffee pot would get cold anywhere else. Talk to the coffee. Even Gabriel isn't that addicted. There's no one in that part of the shop to talk to.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I didn't know much of anything about it until you started researching it for your book. Now I know that it's active in the city. There's that shop, a museum. It can clearly be dangerous in the wrong hands. You should be careful investigating it.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Just what I read in the paper, same as you.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Well, I've only been here 2 months, but I love it. It's so much more alive than any place I've been. It feels like anything's possible here.
Tell me about yourself, Grace.
Yeah, right, Knight.
I mean it.
What do you want to know?
How do you like working at St. George's Books?
Well, it's not exactly a huge intellectual challenge. Although the math in your record books could confuse Einstein. Still, I love old books, and it's a nice way to pay the bills while I explore the city for a summer. If you ever pay me, that is.
Just tell me anything at all.
I just got my master's in history and classics. My folks wanted me to go on right away for my PhD, but 18 years of school was enough. I needed a break.
How old are you?
Old enough to know about men like you.
What do you do after work?
Well, I either go to my oil painting class or my Tai Chi. You know that.
You know, you can go overboard with this improving yourself stuff. You don't want to alienate us mere mortals.
I suppose I should just allow my mind and body to atrophy.
Works for me. Just tell me anything at all.
I came to New Orleans because I'd read so much about it and I thought, spending a few months here would clear my head.
How come we haven't gone out yet?
I'm still waiting around for that lobotomy. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know.
Just tell me anything at all.
I've always wanted to do something really adventurous, Something real life. I'm sick of libraries and lecture halls.
Just tell me anything at all.
My folks are traditional Japanese. I don't even remember Japan myself. I was 3 when we came to the States.
Just tell me anything at all.
I've been studying Tai Chi for 10 years. It's a very spiritual discipline. I'm sure discipline of any sort isn't something that would appeal to you, Gabriel.
Nothing, I guess. Never mind.
Suit yourself.
Do you have messages for me?
Dana called, and Susie left a message about a lawsuit.
Awesome.
Okie dokie. There's more when you want 'em.
Do you have more messages for me?
Your grandmother called.
I keep meaning to get over there. What did she say? Did she sound good?
She sounded great, and we had a nice little chat about you.
Grace.
Don't worry. I didn't go into detail about your cardinal sins. Not that anything about you could surprise her. She adores you anyway.
She's my girl.
But she said to remind you to stop by and go through your father's things.
Okay. Do you have more messages for me?
Here's a strange one. You got a call from someone named Wolfgang Ritter? He said he was calling from Germany. He told me it was urgent, maybe you should give him a call.
Call Germany, like hell. If it's really important, he'll call back.
Well, fine. Let's just hope he's not with the German lottery for pitiful American authors.
Do you have more messages for me?
Your friend Detective Mosley called. Talkative, isn't he?
Especially with you. What do you want?
He left an interesting message. He told me to tell you that his mother's maiden name is Humphrey. Oh, that's Humprey.
Fascinating.
And that he left some photos for you at the station, at the front desk.
It's about time.
Gabriel, those photos wouldn't have anything to do with the voodoo murders, would they?
Now, why would you say something like that?
Because I know you. You're getting privileged information, aren't you? Did you tell him you'd put him in your new voodoo book?
A writer has certain obligation to his readers, you know.
Gabriel, you know you'll never put him in your book. Your main character is a female orthodontist. You're gonna be reincarnated as a pit bull if you keep screwing with your karma.
As long as it's a male pit bull with a really big...
That's enough. Thanks. Anyway, that's all the messages. Thank God.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Could you just shoot me? If I want to open up, I'll go to a shrink. coffee.
Times-Picayune, dated June 18, 1993. The front page has an article about the voodoo murders. The article says that the victims are all identified as members of the underworld. The general public of New Orleans is in no danger. Police claim the so-called voodoo trappings found at the crime scenes are fake, a scare tactic, and that the murders are not associated with any genuine practitioners. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day. Potential storms ahead. Proceed with caution and do not get involved with anything new at this time.
Right.
Gabriel finds those popular authors very mediocre. As though they would care.
Mind if I borrow the magnifying glass?
No, Sherlock. Just bring it back when we get the next estate shipment.
No problem. I'm gonna take the tweezers for a bit.
Good. You're beginning to look a little scruffy.
Just trying to make you feel at home.
Gabriel isn't interested in the books on the rack. Gabriel wouldn't dare touch Grace's oil paints. Really, taking Grace's lamp is not necessary.
My kidney's already floating, thanks.
Gabriel leafs through a German-English dictionary.
Let's see, Mittag means midday, noon.
Gabriel leafs through a German-English...
Spiel means game. Interesting.
It's a bit warm in here. Gabriel decides to wait until he leaves to put on his coat.
I'll be back later.
Uh-huh.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Me? Nothing. I'm a Catholic boy.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I'll tell you, I'm glad as hell it's not Mardi Gras. If it weren't for that 1 month a year, being a cop in New Orleans would be a real pleasure. As it is, I'd rather stick behind this desk.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I'm not allowed to give out information on police cases.
Tell me about yourself.
Who, me? I'm the Desk Sergeant Frick. Why?
Frick?
That's right. You got a problem with that?
Not at all. I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's out of the crime scene. Sorry.
I was supposed to pick up some photos from Detective Mosley at the front desk.
Is that right? And who are you?
My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Yeah. I got something for you, all right? Soon as you're done talking, I'll give it to you.
Where is the crime scene? Is it related to the voodoo murders?
Crime scene information is police confidential. We don't need any more looky-loos than are probably already there. Here's that envelope for you, Gabriel Knight.
Thanks.
That doesn't seem to be removable. The official seal of the New Orleans Police Department highlights the tile floor. It's an antique umbrella stand. Gabriel can't do anything with the officer from the front lobby. Those two objects would have no effect on each other. The envelope has Gabriel's name written on it, misspelled. The envelope from Mosley is a plain manila one. It feels pretty light. Gabriel opens the manila envelope and finds 2 photographs. One of the photos from Mosley is an official voodoo murders crime scene shot, a graphic close-up of a victim. One of the photos The photograph of Mosley was apparently taken upon his graduation from the police academy. He had hair then. The photo of Mosley reads, "Cop nerd," to Gabriel's eyes. The murder photo has nothing written on it. That item cannot be read. There's nothing written on the magnifying glass. A street drummer has found a spot outside the Napoleon House.
Can I ask you some questions?
I'm here to relax, friend. Buzz off.
Right. Sorry. What's up?
Buddy, I think the place you're looking for is down.
Checkmate! Again. Son of a bitch.
Can I ask you some questions?
I'm trying to be with my lady here, pal.
Far be it from me to stand in the way of romance. Can I ask you some questions?
Sure. You want to know my son?
On second thought, I don't think you could help. Forget it. Excuse me. I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
But game? This isn't a game. It's a slaughter.
He's right, you know, so let me die in peace, would you?
Sorry to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
I'm not the chatty type, am I, Sam?
No, you old bastard, you're not.
Besides, I'm busy sucking poor old Sam dry. Go bug someone else.
Ah, you're a real sweetheart, Marcus, you...
What do I need with a table?
That belongs to the Napoleon House.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Greatest city in the world. I'd never want to live anywhere else.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? I don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
Tell me about yourself.
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
This crowd, the ones you see, are mostly regulars. That guy and girl in the corner come here a lot. When they're not fighting, they're all over each other. In other words, they're in love.
What can you tell me about...
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They played every day for 20 years. Sam, the one with the purple jacket, he's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him beat guys twice as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and stuff.
Really? Thanks. Tell me about the street musicians around here.
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say, enough already.
Sounds like my life. What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
I'd call you a regular, Gabe. And one of our local writer celebrities, too. Been coming in here, what, 10 years now?
Don't remind me.
We're still waiting for that bestseller.
Don't hold your breath. So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodooine and had her make him a love charm. It was a little pouch that he had to bury under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day, the he went up and talked to the girl, and sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife. Poor guy.
Excuse me. I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
What game this evening?
He's right, you know, so let me die in peace with...
Nothing like a good game of chess, huh?
Yeah, well, this isn't a good game. This is torture.
Oh well, have fun. So, having a good game?
Shh, I'm concentrating.
Fine, all right. Hello there.
Excuse me. I was talking to the lady.
And she was listening raptly, I'm sure.
Come on.
A stereo and some old jazz albums occupy the back shelf. Four pairs of binoculars are rigorously mounted on the cement floor. St. Louis Cathedral. These binoculars aren't going anywhere without a jackhammer. These binoculars aren't going anywhere without a... Gabriel can't do... There's no reason to do that with the plan. Gabriel can't do that with the railing. A police officer.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Not now, buddy. I'm busy.
I should have noticed that. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
Coroner requests assistance at Maryland.
Good day, officer.
Yeah, you too. Keep moving.
The other park visitors are enjoying their leisure and aren't interested in talking to Gabriel. The band is too into their music to talk to Gabriel.
Homicide team attend.
The drummer is busy. The drummer is busy. Give a hoot. Give a hoot.
Why, you nasty thing, you. I'll call the police, I will.
Since Gabriel can't read lips, he's disinclined to start a conversation. Interrogating a mind would be an exercise in frustration. The Cajun band is a little busy for that right now.
You white-faced geek! You want to eat my fist?
The band isn't paying any attention to Gabriel. At least the cherubs are an aesthetic way of asking for donations. The chancel of St. Louis Cathedral consists of a raised dais, an altar, 2 pedestals, and a choir area. Gabriel cannot go in there. That's the priest part of the confessionals. A mesh window provides access to the confessional from the priest.
May I help you, my child?
Can I ask you a few questions?
The confessional is not the best place for interviews, son. You can contact the parish offices if you need private counseling.
I understand. Thanks, Father.
Is there anything else?
Could you give me a blessing?
Do you feel the need for a blessing, son?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
All right, if it will comfort you.
The priest blesses Gabriel through the confessional window.
Peace be with you, son.
Thank you, Father.
The vase adds a nice touch.
I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know where to start.
Gabriel doesn't want to do anything to that picture. A crucifix adorns the wall. The closet shelves are stacked with the odds and ends of... Nothing on that shelf interests Gabriel. Gabriel isn't interested in those books. Gabriel does not need any wax candles. Gabriel doesn't have time to rearrange the ready room.
I love my house.
Hi. Look around all you want.
Okay, thanks.
Gabriel can't do a thing with a drummer on the street.
Reminds me of a book critic for the New York Times. He's got more hair than Mosley.
The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as an anatomically correct voodoo doll with pins strategically placed.
Now, why does that remind me of Grace?
An official voodoo wishing stone. Rabbit can make a wish, a card said.
Funny, I say the same thing to women.
Large, elaborate drums occupy a corner of the museum. A striking portrait of a turbaned woman is on the back wall. Gabriel. A striking portrait of a turbaned woman is on the back wall. Gabriel wonders who she might be. A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage.
So, how's the museum business?
I don't know. I don't normally work here.
Could I ask you a few questions?
I wouldn't be much help. You should talk to Dr. John, the owner. He'll be back tomorrow.
I see. Thank you. Dang. I've always wanted a skeleton with a bowl on its head. I'll be going now, thanks.
So long.
Hi. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask what you want. I'll answer what I want.
Can you tell me what you know about voodoo?
This is a novelty shop, monsieur.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I've lived here all my life, me.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Cabri's Sancour.
What did you say?
Nothing. Those killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
Tell me about yourself.
My name's Willie Walker. I own the place.
What did you mean when you said Cabri sans corps?
I didn't say that.
You did. I heard you say it.
You heard wrong, monsieur. I said no such thing.
Tell me about yourself. How did you get into this kind of business?
Why should I discuss my business with you, man?
Hi there. Is this your store?
This is a Dixieland drugstore, and I own it, me. Name's Walker, Willie Walker.
The sign say, Special Saint Jean Eve, Lagnappe, free bottle of lover come back to me oil, or master gambling oil, with every purchase over $50.
Lagnappe. My French is lousy, but everyone in New Orleans knows what that means. A little something extra.
The Dixieland drugstore is crammed from top to bottom with strange merchandise, some or all of which seems to be related to the practice of voodoo. The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head. In this case are super concentrated fixing oils and packages of pins. The entire shelf is stocked with containers of High John the Conqueror root powder. A variety of cloth dolls are arranged above the shelf, each impaled with a single silver pin. Ropes of garlic hanging from the ceiling.
I'll know where to come if I ever have a vampire problem.
Lucy, I'm home.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
So, what's new, Grace?
Your use of mathematics, for one thing. These books are unbelievable.
What can I say? I refuse to be bound by rules.
The strap marks on your bedpost speak otherwise.
Hey, kids.
Bruno, how nice.
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Well, better than the used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here. Are you going to sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
How much would you give me for it, Bruno?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Well, I guess I don't need the money that badly.
From the looks of this shop, I'm sure you will, my boy. And soon.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? Never heard of it. It must be a local custom. New Orleans love any excuse to celebrate.
Do you know what Cabri sans corps means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Don't hurry back on my...
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
I wish you wouldn't wear that coat outside in June. I could smell you from here.
The typewriter's too heavy to lug round. Gabriel's not in the mood for tidying up. The typewriter is beginning to accumulate cobwebs.
Should I feel guilty? Nah.
Mardi Gras mementos left by some female or other. Mardi Gras mementos. Several dozen books, including a few of Gabriel's novels, occupy the shelves above his desk. Gabriel's bedroom is also his office, studio, and library. Gabriel might as well leave that here. Gabriel might as well...
If I threw that stuff away, it weren't worth reading.
Gabriel might as well leave that here. Gabriel might...
I might need a flashlight.
Gabriel might as well...
All my clothes look the same, so why change them? All my clothes...
Gabriel might as well... Gabriel doesn't feel like... It's Gabriel's bathroom. It's Gabriel's bathroom.
I really got to get around to cleaning up in there.
The bathroom doesn't move. The bathroom doesn't...
I'll take this hair gel.
There's nothing else Gabriel needs from the medicine cabinet. Gabriel might as well leave the... A poster on the wall advertises Mardi Gras, the biggest party of the year in New Orleans. It's Gabriel's bed, unmade as usual.
I'll be back later.
Good luck.
A uniformed officer of the New Orleans Police Department.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give us a kiss. Now come and sit down. Tell me how you're doing.
How you been, Gran?
Just fine, dear. I'm sorry I bothered you at work, but I was hoping you'd get a chance to go through your father's things in the attic.
Don't be silly. You can call me anytime. Can we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is very southern. Of course, though, not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? I remember when I was a girl, we always had a St. John's Eve Mass. The Mass was said at midnight, and we held candles. One time on the way home, we were waylaid by a large group of drunken revelers. They didn't hurt us, but I was frightened. My father was furious. We never went to St. John's Eve Mass after that.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint Gare means?
Something without something, I think. My French is so rusty. I swear my mind is going.
It's okay, thanks. What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? What an odd question, Gabriel. Of course, you always were interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear about it so much these days. Too much else in the world to worry about, I guess.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes wonder what this world is coming to.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Oh, surely you have something more interesting to talk about.
Oh, come on, Gran.
All right, dear. What do you want to hear?
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend Alma, and at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fire and brimstone annex, and a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for man, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. It was then I knew that he was for me.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden. I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
You know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. We grew peas, corn, cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Just tell me anything at all.
I never loved any man but your grandfather, and I never will.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddad and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies, whether he wanted to or not.
Oh, nothing, never mind.
All right, dear.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him. Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. They were 2 peas in a pod.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked defying her family. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be a sweet gesture.
Maybe I will. You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
The wood in the bin is southern pine and is probably fossilized by now. Mostly pictures of Gabriel, his dad, and Harrison Knight. On the wall are portraits of Gran and Gramps when they were young. Gabriel's inherited some good-looking genes. Granny likes soft lighting. The sofa has a worn blue chintz pattern that Gabriel remembers fondly. Granny's knitting. She whips through that stuff like there was no tomorrow.
I'm going to go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
Grandma's attic is a storehouse of forgotten treasures and useless junk. The old velvet curtains hung in the parlor before Gran lightened up the place. It's a lady's hat from the 1920s.
From Gran's Virginia Woolf period.
Gabriel has seen these ornaments every year at Christmas for as long as he can remember. Gabriel doesn't want to take the clock.
There's nothing I want in there. I think I'll leave that up here. I think I'll leave that up here. I think I'll leave... I think I'll... I think I'll... I think I'll... It looks pretty heavy.
An elaborate mechanical clock, probably of German origin. It doesn't seem to be running at the moment. The old trunk looks like it's gone to hell and back.
It looks pretty heavy.
The trunk doesn't operate. It's a lady
from Gran's Virginia. No. I think I'll leave that up here. I think I'll leave that up here.
It's an old metal tub full of dust and cobwebs. The brass bed frame is from God knows where. It's an old, dusty bicycle tire. These old picture frames have been up here for years.
I think I'll leave that up here. I think I'll take Daddy's sketchbook with me. I think I'll leave that.
It's an old dress dummy that Gran had in her sewing room years ago.
My first impression of the female form.
That clock has been in the Wright family, Granny's family, for centuries.
That's it. Take a load off, hon.
Is there anything you need?
Me? Oh, no. I'm just fine, Gabriel. I have more than enough of everything.
Steal Granny's knitting? How low can you get? Gabriel doesn't need any wood. Gabriel's sentimental enough without dragging those photos into it. The magazine bin contains nothing that Gabriel doesn't want to take any of.
Well, Gran, I'd better get going.
All right, dear.
No way. Something might answer. I'm sorry to bother you.
What you need, boy?
You must enjoy the company of dead folks.
Unlike the living, they ain't never given me no reason to dislike them none.
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Ain't it just awful, them finding those bodies with voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Seems like everybody want to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery too. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Why, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo. Sometimes we get some weird goings-on in that cemetery on that night. More often a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and more.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do with them, but it can't be pretty.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans Coeur means?
No, can't say that I do.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis No. 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, cause, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound they don't know what they doing.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, #1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins would float right out of their graves. Them dead would go floating right down into the water. Cause if it was Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice.
A marble snake. Now that's cheerful.
A stone angel stands silently before a tomb. The marks are reddish in color and reminds Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here a few days at least. The wall doesn't work that way. This old tomb is in a sorry state of disrepair.
There's probably no one left in the family to maintain it.
That item cannot. Those two objects. That object does not open. It's a piece of brick. Gabriel got the flashlight free in the mail when he ordered a magazine subscription. It works though. The jar contains frou-frou hair gel. Gabriel looks fondly at his father's sketchbook and charcoal pencil. Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious. Images haunt the pages. The images haunt the image. This is the last page of inventory.
No thanks. No thanks. These would seriously clash with my decorated schedule.
New Orleans is famous for its above-ground tombs. The name Ross is inscribed on this old tomb. This is the tomb of Marie Laveau, Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall. It's an imposing marble tomb from the last century. The marker reads, Merrill Planter Wright,
These are Grand's folks. I never knew.
The marker reads,
These are Grand's folks.
the Wright family tomb. Several of Gabriel and Grand's family members are laid to rest here. A wrought iron fence surrounds this tomb.
I hope that's to keep people out.
Vases seem to be a favorite decoration for the dead. Gabriel doesn't want to disturb that part of the cemetery.
Phew, it's humid out there. Made it back though.
Oh, joy.